Imagine you're playing a high-stakes game. The opponent is the person you love most. The prize is happiness, trust, and a lifetime of peace. But here's the problem: both of you are playing to win by betraying each other. And in the end, everyone loses. Welcome back to Human Game Theory, the channel where we decode human behavior like a strategic game. Today we're talking about something that affects every single person on this planet. Relationships, marriage, love, and why most people are losing without even knowing they're playing a game. Here's a question nobody asks. Why do two people who genuinely love each other end up hurting each other? Why do couples who started with so much hope end up in silence, resentment, or divorce? The answer is not that they stopped loving each other. The answer is that they never understood the rules of the game they were playing. Let's start with the most famous concept in game theory, the prisoner's dilemma. Two prisoners are caught and placed in separate rooms. If both stay silent and cooperate, they both get a light punishment. If one betrays the other, the betrayer walks free and the other gets a heavy sentence. If both betray each other, both get heavy punishment. The logical choice for each individual is to betray. But when both choose betrayal, both lose. Sound familiar? This is happening in relationships every single day. Both people cooperate, they are open, vulnerable, and giving, and the result is deep trust, intimacy, and happiness. One person defects, they lie, manipulate, withhold love, or protect themselves emotionally, and the other person gets hurt. Both defect, both shut down, both protect themselves, both stop giving, and the relationship becomes cold, empty, and eventually dead. Why do most couples end up here? Not because they are bad people, but because they are afraid. Afraid of being taken advantage of. Afraid of loving more than they are loved. Afraid of being vulnerable. So they play safe. They protect themselves. And slowly, without noticing, they destroy the relationship they were trying to protect. Now let's talk about the most important discovery in the history of game theory for relationships. In the 1980s, a political scientist named Robert Axelrod ran a famous tournament. He invited the world's best mathematicians and strategists to submit strategies for repeated games played over and over again, like a long-term relationship. And the winning strategy was surprisingly simple. It was called Tit-for-Tat. And here is how it works. Start by cooperating. Be kind. Be open. Give first. Then simply copy what the other person does. If they give, you give. If they withdraw, you withdraw. If they return to cooperation, you immediately forgive and cooperate again. That's it. No revenge. No punishment beyond matching their behavior. No holding grudges. Just clear, consistent, forgiving cooperation. Axelrod's research proved that this simple strategy beat every complex, aggressive, or defensive strategy in the long run. And when you look at the happiest, most successful marriages in the world, they are all unconsciously using a version of tit-for-tat. But most people don't do this. Most people fall into one of four deadly traps. Trap number 1, playing zero-sum. This is when you treat love like a competition. Who loves more? Who sacrifices more? Who has more power? Who wins the argument? In a zero-sum game, for one person to win, the other must lose. But love is not zero-sum. When your partner wins, you win. When your partner is happy, you benefit. The moment you start keeping score, you have already lost. Trap number 2, short-term thinking. This is choosing immediate validation over long-term trust. Saying something hurtful to win an argument. Hiding something to avoid a difficult conversation. Protecting your ego instead of protecting the relationship. Every short-term win in a relationship usually costs you long-term connection. Trap number 3, asymmetric information. This is when you hide your true feelings, your real needs, your actual fears, while expecting the other person to somehow know them. You are angry but you say you are fine. You are hurting but you pretend you are okay. You need something but you wait for them to figure it out. This creates a game where one person is playing with incomplete information, and both end up losing because of misunderstanding, not lack of love. Trap number 4, staying out of fear instead of choice. When someone stays in a relationship only because they are afraid of being alone, afraid of starting over, or afraid of what people will say, they are not a partner. They are a prisoner. And prisoners do not make good lovers. The most attractive, most stable, most trustworthy partner you can be is someone who chooses to stay, every single day, not because they have to, but because they genuinely want to. Now let's talk about how to actually win the relationship game. 5 strategies that change everything. Strategy number 1, make cooperation more attractive than defection. In practical terms, this means creating a relationship where being open and honest feels safe. Where vulnerability is rewarded, not punished. Where mistakes are met with understanding, not attack. When your partner knows that being real with you leads to connection and not criticism, they will choose honesty every time. Strategy number 2, communicate your rules clearly from the beginning. In game theory, this is called signaling. Most relationship problems come from two people who have completely different unspoken expectations, and neither one ever said them out loud. What do you need to feel loved? What are your deal breakers? What does loyalty mean to you? What does respect look like? Say it. Early. Clearly. Because the other person cannot play the game well if they don't know the rules. Strategy number 3, build strong outside options. This sounds counterintuitive, but stay with me. The most dangerous position in any relationship is complete dependence, emotional, financial, or social. When you have no life outside the relationship, no friendships, no passions, no identity apart from your partner, you become desperate. And desperation is the enemy of love. Build a life you are genuinely happy with alone. Have friends. Have goals. Have things that fulfill you. Not to threaten your partner, but because a person who chooses you from fullness loves you far better than a person who needs you out of emptiness. Strategy number 4, use consequences wisely. In game theory, this is called the grim trigger, the point where you show clearly that repeated betrayal has real consequences. This does not mean threats or punishment. It means having standards. It means showing, through your actions, not your words, that you respect yourself enough to not accept consistent disrespect, dishonesty, or cruelty. Healthy relationships are not unconditional in their tolerance of harmful behavior. They are unconditional in their love, but conditional in their acceptance of how that love is treated. Strategy number 5, play the infinite game. Most arguments, most fights, most relationship crises happen because one or both people are focused on winning today. Who is right? Who said what? Who apologized first? But the happiest couples are not focused on winning today's argument. They are focused on building a relationship that gets better and deeper over decades. And from that perspective, being right becomes less important than being close. Winning the argument becomes less important than winning the relationship. Here's the truth that human game theory is built on. Love is not just a feeling. It is a choice, a strategy, and a skill. And like every skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. The people who understand the hidden game of relationships do not just survive love, they build something rare and extraordinary. A partnership where both people win. Not because they got lucky, but because they learned the rules and chose to play differently. If this video changed the way you see your relationship, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Human Game Theory for more episodes that decode the hidden games in human life. And drop a comment below. What trap have you fallen into in your own relationship? Be honest. The conversation in the comments might be the most valuable thing you watch today. See you in the next episode. Make the video animation.